for the departure of President Muhammadu Buhari to the second United Nations General Assembly. And all is now set. Any moment from now, the president will be arriving, and will be seeing his departure. But it's on the presidential entourage. We have about 3 other governors. We have the governor of Ondo State. We have the governor of Ondo State, as well as the chairman of the governors forum, who is the governor of ZAMFARA State. And the agenda for Nigeria, as we are informed by the Minister of Foreign Affairs, few days before his departure, because it's already there as for other sessions before the General Assembly. And Nigeria will be pursuing 2 agendas. That is the repatriation of looted funds first, as well as the issue of terrorism, which is a global phenomenon that every country is trying to see that that issue is happening. And these are the 2 issues that Nigeria will pursue straight. Let's your memory afresh. The theme for the session, the 72nd UN General Assembly, is focusing on people striving for peace and a decent life for all on a sustainable planet. But I have with me here the deputy governor of the state, who is going to talk shortly on the. You are welcome to NTL. Thank you. Shortly, you will be departing on the presidential entourage on the UN General Assembly. This is the first time you've attended the UN General Assembly as an executive governor. What are you looking forward to?
Well, I look forward to our robust interaction with the whole world anyway. I mean, normally, as you know, UN General Assembly give us a forum to give an update on the number of activities we have had in the country. So we are looking forward to very robust engagement with all segments of the world, like other presidents and interaction, and put that case across the United Nations.
Nigeria is pursuing mainly 2 agendas. One, repatriation of looted funds, and then second, issue of terrorism. How do you see this 2 agenda of Nigeria?
Well, when it comes to our state funds, this has been a matter, and I think we are receiving some cooperation. It's a matter of us, at least as a country, putting our case. Most people are sympathetic to the cause of Nigerians. Everybody sees that, look, if people who have been in charge of the funds in this country, so much. So whatever the monies are kept, it's just for us to look at identify where they are. I think what we want to appeal to the most of this, like other in the world, like in the US, other places where some of these monies are kept, that when we identify this money, they should be able to make sure that they repatriate it for our use. The country is in dire need of this money. Now, when it comes to terrorism and our security, and I think
before we go to that, it has not been easy in the past for Nigeria to get this money from the conflict where they are kept back to origin. What do you think we are going to do differently to make sure that this time around, because for instance, the Abacha, it has been on for many years, up to date, we are still getting more, some are still there. How can we make sure this happens right?
No, you see, I probably do not agree with you that it's not been easy. It's just our approach. It takes some time before we start up here in the country. The moment we are able to approach them and they are ready to give it back to us, it's not that it's not been easy. It's just that we ourselves have been in a number of occasions before the president came in, before the advent of President Muhammdu Buhari, we have been tardy about our approach to retrieve this money. We have been, again, people have tried to make a lot of for themselves, rather for the country. And you see all these foreign countries insist most times on dealing directly with the country of origin of the funds, and they want to make sure that the money goes back for good use. It's unfortunate, but they want to, at times, they want to dictate that, look, what use do you want to put this money? That they are not supposed to decide for us, because of our own approach to things, we want to insist that when these monies are retrieved, they will be used for good purpose. That's what has delayed.
Now for our second agenda, issue of terrorism. What's your take on that?
Well, terrorism, I mean, in Nigeria, is mainly having to do with Boko Haram. I mean, and they have caused a number of people who are internally displaced now, who now stay outside their own confines. And we have guiding principles that the United Nations has enunciated that we should use. And I mean, guaranteeing human rights, everything under human rights is there, schools and co. I believe that we have had assistance. And we cannot run away from that. Our military has had a lot of assistance, and they have pushed, no doubt, Boko Haram into their own holes. There are a few pockets here and there who are now involved in.
What do you think we should tell the international community so that they come and support us to push them to pass on?
Well, what we keep telling them is that we still need the assistance militarily to at least to give a final onslaught on Boko Haram, and I'm sure they will give us. Thank you. Thank you.
That was the governor of Ondo State, Yari, who has spoken his mind on Tira's agenda here. But I would also like to have the governor of Ondo State accompanying Mr. President. You are welcome to Nigeria. You are on the presidential. You have two agendas basically that we are going to pursue. The issue of repatriation of the stolen funds that's needed for, and the issue of terrorism. So what do you think of that? Do you think it's the only thing that Nigeria needs to pursue? And do you?
Well, the important thing is not the number of what we are set to confronted with, quite a number of challenges, but, we count one before we count two. So I think that, these two items, are good enough. If we can achieve that, there are a lot of milestones. So in my own opinion, it is very important, very key to, these 2 points.
How do you think we should approach the two agendas? What should we do? Should it be the main address at the General Assembly, or we should do some outside behind the scene approach to all these countries?
I think if it is mentioned, just without emphasis, to be important at the General Assembly meeting. But the bulk of the work must be done, underground. Meeting this country, one after them, and let them what they say be open in terms of, assisting the developing countries to wipe out corruption. Let them also say it in secret, and I think those secret meetings will help us quite a lot.
And now, since we are going to be part of Nigeria's are you going to also pursue the agenda of your state, that we are only going to pursue the Nigerian agenda only? Or is there anything you want to pursue, take advantage of this trip to see that you get something to going?
It shouldn't. The 3 governors should not pursue, the agenda of their states. We are going as a country, under the national interest, not state interest. If Nigeria is good, then every part of Nigeria is also good.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
That was the governor of Ebonyi State, Dave Umahi, who has also spoken on Nigeria's agenda. He feels these 2 agendas are good for Nigeria. It's not a matter of it's not the number, but the quality of what we are trying to pursue. And I have with me here also the presidential spokesperson. It doesn't need any introduction for all of you. And so you all come to NT'L.
Thank you.
Now we are set at the nation. Anybody from now, the president will be arriving and everything is set. General Assembly.
Well, I'll look at that question from both levels. At the personal level, for our president, I think it's a vital opportunity to reconnect with the rest of the world. We know that since the beginning of the year, our president has had some health challenges. which by the grace of God is now under control. While he was away between January and the rest of the world continued to do the things they were doing. So now it's an opportunity for him to reconnect with the rest of the world. And what better theater, what better platform to do that than the UN General Assembly? And then at the national level is another opportunity to market Nigeria, market the country. These and these and these are the things that are happening in Nigeria. Despite the absence of the president, for 8 months, Nigeria continued to move and continue to progress. At the economic front, we have exited recession and things are looking up. And there are so many good stories to tell the world. And the UN is a global platform.
Now, Nigeria, the foreign affairs minister, was already here under the normal session of having ministerial, the other second part sessions. But before his departure, what was the Nigeria issue? Basically, two major issues: repatriation of foreign looted funds and the issue of now, repatriation of foreign. Why are we keen on getting this one? We have this one is Abacha's loot for the past how many years now?
Yes.
We are still waiting. Now, how do you think we can make it shorter for Nigeria to get this funds?
Yes, it's not easy, but then Nigeria must never give up. And that is why a global platform like the UN would press that cause for them. It may take time, but we'll still get some more. We have got a lot, particularly of the Abacha loot, but we'll still get a lot more if we continue to strike. When you strike an iron, hot iron on the same spot, turn it into what you want it to be. So, Nigeria must continue to strike on this issue of repatriation.
So what's different? What are we going to tell them that will make people believe in Nigeria? Because there is this allegation that if the funds are brought in, what confidence is this government going to give people?
Well, in the past, that may happen. We saw cases of returned looted funds being relooted again, but that will not happen. Nigeria has taken a new turn. Nigeria is under a different dispensation. And what we can do is just to reassure the rest of the world that whatever funds are returned to Nigeria, these funds belong to us in the first place. Whatever funds are returned to us will be used. So we won't stop saying it.
Are you now saying the president's integrity and the fact that he is known to be an ardent fighter of corruption, would that make the international community, would that convince the international community now to the international community to actually have that confidence and maybe fast track the repatriation of this tonight?
It's part of it. It's part of it because if those who are in custody of those funds now don't have confidence in the integrity of the man who is at the helm of affairs, they are going to be skeptical about returning it. But we know that we have a president whose integrity has been trumpeted in many parts of the world. We had the Archbishop of Canterbury saying it. We had President Obama saying it. We had the Prime Minister of Canada saying it. Many people have spoken about his integrity. And I'm sure they will then have a lot of confidence.
Now let's talk about this agenda. It's a global phenomenon. Nigeria is also a victim of this. What are we going to talk about this?
Well, it's going to be like giving of a report card. We are going to tell them this is how far Nigeria has gone, and Nigeria has gone very far. Between 2015 May, when President Buhari came, and now, there is a wide difference in terms of insurgency in the northeast of the country. So, a story of success will be told. But we know that there's still some work to be done. There is still a remnant to clear. Therefore, it's going to be an opportunity to tell the world this is how far we have gone and this is what remains to be done. And I'm sure that the rest of the world can then come and assist me.
Nigeria is also pursuing the issue of saying that the United Nations Security Council is the form understand as a unit to reflect the reality of the world. So, in this, are we still going to push for it?
Yeah, Nigeria has always crusaded for that. Since 2 years ago, when President Buhari began to attend the UN and he began to address the General Assembly, he had always maintained that there must be a reform of the Security Council. So it's expected that at this 72nd session, that will also come up.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
At this person have said a lot. But again, to hear from the governor, the chairman of the governors forum, who is the governor of some state, Yari, is going to talk a little on what Nigeria intends to push. Welcome. And now we are the chairman of the governors forum, and we can see that the relationship between the governors forum and the presidency this time around is very much improved, unlike in the past. What we see in this synergy now that we see that seamlessly there seems to be understanding between the governors and the federal government.
It's about the head. Because when the head is good and not the leadership. The leadership is focused on the political interest, then all other issues will be corrected. In the past, the issue of governors forum and the leadership in the center, they told us as problem. But we are not. We are all for development. The president was elected as a president, the governors was elected as a governor. We are all in our respective state police. So therefore, Mr. President realized that he has a lot of things to be done to put the economy, to put the to cater for the account and other issues needed by the nation. So why should he be the governors? The governors forum are collaborators to work with the federal government for a common goal of developing the country. So between the NTF today and the government of the federation, I can tell you that it's ever seen in the history of Nigeria. Why? Because of the leadership of this country.
Now, away from your relationship, now you are going to the United Nations General. This is still the highest where the world comes together. We have agenda that the Nigeria is pushing, and the Nigeria's major agendas are stolen funds, one, then the issue of terrorism. Now we have been on this issue of repatriation of what your agency, your organization, the governance forum, are making in this regard to see that Nigeria's mutual fund are repatriated back into that is our agenda.
You see, Mr. President, since he has been involved, he has been pursuing this agenda, meeting with the American president, meeting with world leaders, even before his inauguration. They invited him to come and discuss, and he made the point very clear that we are not looking for support from you, but what we are looking are funds that are in your respective nations that brought illegally by the citizens of other partners of the system. So we're looking forward to see how we are going to partner with Nigeria, bring those funds back. If those funds are back, then we have Nigeria have no problem. We are not. It's only about the issue of management and trust. So therefore, as a governors, we are giving the support for not even the United Nations. And each and every program, more especially when we are being invited at the United States and development with other public organizations, we have been raising this issue. Look, what we are looking for, we're not looking for aid, we're not looking for support, any support that we are going to get the cash, except logistic, whereby the support of the other nations to ensure that these funds that are looted by Nigerians are returned to the Nigerians. Family in the other nations, even the United States, in the UK, in the France, in the Switzerland, all those things are there. So therefore, we are going to continue to pursue the United Nations, but should the other leaders, they should support Nigeria, more especially in the area whereby we have a very serious bad experience of drastic drop of the oil prices from $110 to a barrel to $7. But therefore, if this discourse and if this course are not supported to be done to Nigeria for the people of Nigerians, the economy of Nigeria is going to be going to
2016 at the 71st UN General Assembly, Nigeria sponsored a resolution for the repatriation of illicit cash to countries of origin. How has that resolution, what impact has it had in our fight that looted funds, not only from Nigeria but to other countries, especially African countries and countries? Has it made any issue?
You see, that's why this program of to review what is agreed last other time and how in fact it shows to other nations. So now we have seen that it's make a little or no impact to what we have said. So that wasn't the case. This is what we have come and discussed and agreed. But Nigeria is part of the nations that are suffering from that inability of the United Nations or inability of the world leadership to impose that agreement to other nations that they return the funds to the origin. So now, I believe, Mr. President, we will take the position of Nigeria and demand for those funds that are there, which are decided to be returned to the country.
Now, is the Governors Forum on the same page with the federal government on this? Maybe this agenda that Nigeria is presenting, you get the picture that this is what Nigeria wanted to do and what we are your input and your unit.
Whatever federal government is doing for the states. You should remember that there's no the larger since where the only president site in Abuja here is not up to 1.0% of the citizens of all the state. So whatever the policy is being brought before is for the benefit of the state. More especially if this come back is for the funds for the federation, it's not for the federal government. So therefore, states are going to benefit, federal government are going to be benefited, and even those for the federal government, your roads is going to be built, it's passing through the state, a rail line is going to be built, it's passing through the state, it's for the entire benefit of the state and those that just the people. So therefore, it's an obligation for us as governors and the whole to support the federal government on this agenda. And we are, when you talk about the issue of security of this planet, of course, we are suffering. What happened is Borno, look at the old still and the running the state appears by the governor. So is the logistics are there being spent day and night, IDPs are there. So in the end, if there's any crisis or insecurity, governors are the first to be considered. So therefore, it's compulsory for the governors to come together and support the federal government on fighting for this terrorism. And we are in support of this president, and we are bringing more ideas in the what were in the past, and knew that how federal government will succeed in this fight, because this fight is not all fight. Achievement of this fight is going to be come back, the benefit is going to come back to the states, so that the state is going to be peaceful, our economy will improve, and by extension, when this to happen, is extension to the improvement of the economy and development of the country in general.
Now, talking about our second agenda, which is the terrorism. Terrorism not only experiential in few countries, it's a global challenge that every part of the world. Nigeria is we are also victims of terrorism, and Nigeria is going to talk about the issue of terrorism. Now, I think we should tell the world about terrorism, that the issue is put into front corner and is addressed by every country, irrespective of whether they are having the issue of terrorism.
Well, I think Mr. President in this end must be commended, because I can remember his first trip to Cameroon when he came to office, not legislature, to Niger, Benin Republic, Cameroon, and Chad, going around in our neighboring states to support Nigeria on the fight. Because by extension, this fight is their own fight. So, as it started with the African nations, I'm part of the delegation that went to France. And major, apart from the economic discussion, the major discussion the president come out on is on the issue of support of Nigerians getting support of France and other EU nations on the issue of terrorism. Each and every nation is struggling with its own way of the menace. So Nigeria is not any exception. So therefore, it became a global issue whereby leaders is compulsory for either you are part of it because you are experiencing it in one way or the other. Either you are directly getting in front of it or indirectly. So therefore, I believe all the leaders they have agreed on how they are going to use the resources, how they are going to use the experience of the security to ensure that the issue of terrorism has been cut to whereby, for instance, in Nigeria, we have so many issues surrounding the issue of terrorism in the northeast, in the northwest, in the north central, etc. So therefore, the needed by Nigeria, more especially in the area of training, the area of act and dealing and other software is needed. So therefore, what is going to be discussed in I believe Mr. President and Nigerian delegation will hammer on the issue of terrorism and the support of other nations to ensure that we capture the problem of terrorism.
UN General Assembly 2017 focusing on thriving for peace and decent life for all on a sustainable planet. This is a little bit the key words there are peace, sustainable development for all, that is irrespective. We now as an African countries, what does this theme say about the world's desire to support our development?
You see, one thing with the Africans is that they should come back to drawing boards. No other now will come and develop your nation. It's you that is going to. What the other nation will do is to give you support, but you must have the political will to move your nation forward. So what we are actually troubling in Africa is the development of one and foremost to understand that we are the people that are going to make development in our respective nations. We will not wait. We will go to the United Nations, we will go to other forums of EU, we will go to other of the G20 group and discuss, but we have to come back and implement what we discuss there as a citizen of the and Africa. Africa, they are talented. When you go to Europe, you see that they are giving the best design of cars, best design of aeroplane, best engineers, best doctors. But when you come back home, it's something different. Because we didn't trust ourselves with the given talent that God has given to us. When you go to nation, you'll be amazed to see that, oh my God, how I wish here that if you look at how they are in years ago, they have been on the same position that we are, but they work hard and they believe they are the only people that are going to develop the nation, and they, which in Africa we don't. For instance, I want to see the result of each and every my effort to myself. I don't think for my children and my grandchildren, which they are the focus of the other part of the nation, that we are doing this for our grandchildren to come and survive a better form. So the focus of this thing is correct, but we have to provide in Africa, we have to provide in Nigeria, stay on the ground table, put our hands on the deck, and cross our fingers to ensure that we Nigerians, we Africans, we are the only people that are going to develop Africa. We're the only people that are going to develop Nigeria. No one else will do this.
Now, having said this much, what do we expect of this? Has to do with leadership. But what is expected then of the followership?
Well, the followership also they are relaxed. We advocate that no, look, this is our country. We have no any other country we enter without visa apart from this country. And we are the people that are going to work with this country to be a better place for everyone. For instance, look at what happened in Emirates. How much it's not up to 5 years when you look at development. But all Nigerians that are having opportunity to travel to that country they will still be saying, oh my God, how I wish this is my country. But they are the same human like you. They are the same like me. They have God has given the same brain, the same time. We can be able to do it or more than how they did it. But the commitment of the followership is also needed to understand that it's not only the leadership. It's not about only president that will do the magic. It's not only about the governor that will do the magic. It's not about all other people that are in the management that will do the magic. The support of the other citizens is needed to know that this country is our own country. So we are the people that are going to cross our finger with our leaders to ensure that we have a better country today.
Governor of ZAMFARA State, Yari, who is also the chairman of the Governors Forum, and has spoken a lot about. He has told us that the Governors Forum are working in harmony with the President, and the federal government in general as a result of the understanding and the leadership. And we also discussed the issue of repatriation of the foreign looted funds, which Nigeria is pursuing at this 72nd UN General Assembly, which is already technical sessions are on. By the time the General Assembly commences honest, President Muhammdu Buhari is going to deliver address of the country. And Nigeria's agenda, like I told you right from the beginning, is going to be on two issues. One is the repatriation of stolen funds. Nigeria has been battling to support a lot of the money stolen from treasuries at the local government, states, federal government, agencies, and what have you, that are to be kept in foreign accounts outside the country are repatriated. And President Muhammadu Buhari is once again going to make a case for that. Last year at the 2016 UN General Assembly, the President spoke on the same issues, and Nigeria co-sponsored a resolution of the United Nations during the 2016 Assembly, during the 2016 UN General Assembly, where Nigeria co-sponsored on the repatriation of illicit financial flows from countries of destination where they have to countries of origin. And Nigeria is one of the countries that African countries, mainly the victims of looted funds. And again, Nigeria is going to pursue that agenda, which is going to stop what President Muhammadu Buhari is going to present to the world. Secondly, like we've been discussing all along, you had that Nigeria is also going to talk about the issue of terrorism. Nigeria is fighting terrorism, though we've considered getting all territories captured by the Boko Haram insurgents. And the army have been pushing them backwards and having a lot of success in fighting terrorism. But then it's a global phenomenon, and President Muhammadu Buhari is going to make case for that, to see that the world pays attention, the world unites, the world works towards ensuring that terrorism is combated to the barest minimum. And all the other speakers that have spoken with, from of Ondo State to Mahi to the presidential spokesperson, and my last speaker here was the governor of the state and the chair of the federal governors forum. They've all spoken on the need for the world to come together to see that Nigeria issue of terrorism is addressed once and for all. So we are expecting the president to land any moment from now. The president is expected to be at the airport, and we can see here all the sets, the plane, the aircraft, even all those that are going to be the presidential entourage are here. Everything is set. Any moment from now, the president is expecting the president to come, and once the president comes, all the things will just fall in place as leads Nigerian delegation to the 7th UN General Assembly. And I told you earlier on that the theme for the session is focusing on people striving for peace and decent life for all on a sustainable planet. That is the theme. This is a broad theme by the United Nations, which is aimed at ensuring that the world moves at the same pace. There's a bridge of gap between advanced and developing countries is bridged through the sustainable development goals. By the way, Nigeria is also going to talk on its sustainable development goals so that it's going to be fast-tracked you can remember, Nigeria was unable to meet the 15 goals of the Millennium Development Goals. But Nigeria is this time determined to see that the Sustainable Development, which has more goals, Nigeria is able to achieve one, if not, all of these goals by the time that is set as that is the target here. So Nigeria is also going to discuss the issue of development. On the agenda that we are also going to pursue as a nation, according to the Foreign Affairs Ministry, is the issue of the structuring of the United Nations Security Council. Nigeria is advocating that it should be made more democratic. Let there be fair representation of all the continents of the world, and Africa should have a permanent seat as well. And Nigeria is a top contender for that. These are some of the issues that Nigeria is going to pursue. You can see from the background, you can see that the president is almost around the chief of staff. Let me get out of the picture so that you can see that the chief of staff and other people are already coming out to see that they welcome the president, and any moment from now, the president is sure to be around. This is a delegation chief of staff here, governors of Ebonyi, the governor of from the state, as well as the governor on those states who have spoken with earlier on. They are all here. The FCT minister who is host, if you want to say so, is also here. All come out now. We welcome Mr. President, who is going to be here any moment from now. My colleague and the minister who have also informed me that already the team of journalists and other company members are on ground to see that Nigeria's outing at the 72nd UN General Assembly is effectively covered and every information is brought to Nigerians, and that is the situation. Let me give you the ambience of the plane and the discussion going on here. Yes, but the president is almost here. And the screw I can see, no, you cannot see it on your screen now, but I can see the security personnel down there doing what is supposed to be done, that the president comes in safely, and all the other protocols that we normally done here at the airport whenever he departs or whenever the president returns from any foreign trip. Let me show you a little of the plane. You will see where the plane is. That is the presidential plane. I see from the background, the security, we are arriving. Everything is set for the president. But Nigeria, in route United States of America for the second UN General Assembly. For more information, this is the second time that President Muhammadu Buhari will be attending the United Nations General Assembly. Remember, the first time he was here in 2015 when he assumed on 29th of May 2015. he attended that year's UN General Assembly in September. And last year, 2016, was also here. And this is 2017. The president will be departing shortly to the United States for that for another UN General Assembly, making it the third time that the president will be addressing the United Nations General Assembly. So all is now set. Any moment from now, President Muhammadu Buhari here will be earlier on. The delegation that will bid him farewell. Have the chief of staff, have the FC minister. You have 4 governors here present. Governors of Gombe State, that of Borno State, that of Ondo State, as well as the governor of ZAMFARA State, who is also the chairman of the Nigerian Governors Forum. Is forum where all the 36 governors of the country, irrespective of political affiliation, come together to discuss issues of national interest, review mechanisms, also come up with policies that they think will be okay for their states and for Nigeria at large. So the Governors Forum is one of the major components of Nigeria's democracy, not a constitutional provision, organization that has a stake in the Nigerian politics, and it has been playing a very important role addressing national issues and coming up with positions and suggestions on issues bordering on national interest. So that explains the involvement of the chairman of the Governors Forum as an entourage, as one of the presidents to the United Nations General Assembly. And of course, we have Yari, who is going to the United Nations General Assembly for the first time. In fact, I remember he assumed as governor of Ondo State a few months ago, and that the president has included him among those be on the United Nations General Assembly. And as you can see, he's here with other colleagues, and we are waiting for President Muhammadu Buhari to arrive any moment from now so that they can depart the president. And as you've heard from the interviews with the governors as well as the presidential spokesperson, Nigeria is hoping for a very good outing because Nigeria has a cut-out plan, what Nigeria wants to discuss, what it wants to achieve, the messages it wants to pass across to the world. They are all articulated. Nigeria has a clear-cut agenda to at the United Nations General Assembly, and from the optimism being expressed by all those that have spoken with us, Nigeria is on course. And of course, you know there are going to be behind the scene discussions, bilateral discussions, and multilateral discussions. And of course, Nigeria is going to hold all these bilateral and multilateral discussions with a lot of people. And by the time that Nigeria returns from the United Nations General Assembly, I am very sure that we must have achieved one or two things out of the numerous agendas that we intend to issue. So that is the situation here. Any moment from now, President Muhammadu Buhari will be arriving, and Nigerian Television Authority, Africa's largest television network, is going to, or is already giving you an blow-by-blow account of what is happening here at the NNAMDI AZIKIWE International Airport this morning as we await the departure of President Muhammadu Buhari from Nigeria to the United States to attend the 72nd United Nations General Assembly. Don't forget, I've earlier told you that Nigeria is going to two main agendas as well as some other agendas that are not priority for now. They are as important as that Nigeria is issue. So once again, in your screen, you can see the waiting for the president. governors from the on-road part of the channel. We also have a lot of security presence here, journalists here. It's have the airport is busy now, but the potential wing where we are now is affecting level of any moment now. This is the President Television Authority, NTA, Africa's largest television network, transmitting live from the NNAMDI AZIKIWE International. President is almost gone now. Attention has shifted to the chopper in the sky, which is carrying the president. Any moment from now, the president is going to land. Then, though, if you can hear you can hear from the background presidential chopper. People are moving. That is the presidential chopper. There it comes. You can see it from the background. That is the presidential chopper. President Muhammdu Buhari is here now. And you can see the chopper. You can see the chopper. seat. President so far has landed, and then anyone alight from proceeds waiting presidential jets. We are already, I can see the Minister of FCT, the Governor of Gombe, as well as the Chief of Staff are here. Yes, President Muhammadu Buhari has alighted from the plane. Wearing a brown kaftan, which is a traditional shirt inside. This time around, instead of not the normal white that he wears, wearing a white as well. So the governors of handshake with Diago's president. And everyone is now inside the plane. The president is already inside the plane now. Any moment he will be departing. Then we will start the city from the presidential wing, several hundred meters away from the presidential wing, and to taxi from here to that spot, and then take off. airport protocol has been complete. The President has landed. Protocols, check-ins are good. And now, then we exit to the runway, which is about 600 meters away from the presidential wing. And then the President is here.